Hello and welcome to another nerdy news update. After the last week of Bihar elections, I come to you again with our regular news updates. Well, not so regular, they're also related to Bihar. The first update comes from Bihar itself, where there are certain doubts that people are having about whether the results were correct, whether the elections were manipulated, whether the election was free and fair at all. So, we are going to talk about that a little bit. The second is Prashant Kishore has ended his silence. Not that he went into silence, he was silent for 3 days, which is unusual for Prashant Kishore, I guess. But he has come out and done a press conference admitting his defeat. But he said some other things also, which are interesting. So that is there. And the third update is the SIR 2.0, or the national SIR or semi-national SIR that is going on currently. It is happening. It is happening, and it is happening in Tamil Nadu. It is happening in Rajasthan, Kerala, and a bunch of states that are also going for elections, including West Bengal. So there are some updates from there as well. So without further ado, let's go to update number 1. The Congress Kerala handle has made a very big allegation against the BJP of vote chori. This is what they're saying. 128 seats out of 202 won by the NDA came purely from SIR based voter deletions. We analyzed the voter deletion data published by ECI as ordered by the Supreme Court and compared it with the victory margins in each of these constituencies. The pattern is unmistakable. Genuine living voters were removed arbitrarily under SIR. SIR was supposed to identify and remove illegal immigrants from Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Nepal. But the entire dataset released by ECI, not even one illegal immigrant was found. Just a small reminder that when they started doing the SIR, back in June, the announcement was that there are non-citizens in our voter rolls, and that is why it needs to be cleaned. Elections Commission sources were telling us that. Ganesh Kumar Gupta, our Chief Election Commissioner, has been asked multiple times about this in multiple press conferences. Where are the people? Like, who did you find? Did you look at their citizenship? What is the numbers that you are putting all of this, all of the population through? How many people did you find illegally who are registered to vote illegally? There have been no answers for that. Instead, they ended up deleting about 65 lakh people in the first round, and most of the people who were deleted were poor and underprivileged and backward people. It is just a no-brainer because either they were not home, or the BLOs were lazy, or they didn't know what to do, or they didn't have the required documents. There are multiple reasons. Then the Supreme Court had to step in and say that please allow Aadhaar for this exercise. Then there was some relief that happened, but still, now Kerala Congress is saying, still there were a bunch of people who were deleted, and it is reflective in the Bihar results also. What actually happened was the wholesale purge in the name of SIR to remove poor and vulnerable voters who were suffering under the NDA. After striking them off the rolls, they prevented whoever was left from voting and then walked away with a fully staged, managed election. This is the mother of democracy for you. If we do not realize the game plan now, BJP will quietly remove each one of us from the list, add dummy Brazilians in our place, cast votes on the behalf, and keep winning elections forever. So they have put in an Excel sheet where this has happened according to them. For example, Motihari, deleted voters 54,000, deleted margin is 40,000. So total votes is how much is this? 1,06,000, margin of 13,000. So one of the things that I noticed about this essentially is that it's not like a strict match, honestly, right? For example, look at this. Deleted voters look at this one, Balrampur, which is deleted voters 29,254. Total votes is 80,459, and this is 389 margin which the LJP won by, okay, and the margin overall is deleted margin is 28,865. So this might be like a perfect example of this, but in some places you will find that the difference is a lot more, right? Like for example, 95 here. This comes close. Then this comes close. This is 981. So there were a few places in Bihar which were essentially close. Like you can actually find the correlation between the deleted people and the margin that was there, and it matches somehow. But in a lot of places it doesn't. And the other problem with this allegation I find is that they haven't given other seats. So it's maybe not the best analysis, honestly. Congress ka seats and all the RJD ka seats and everything they have completely skipped here. So they should give that also. Like if they would have given all seats and then they would have said, okay, this is BJP, this is Congress, and then we are seeing like an extremely distinct pattern here, which is like wherever the Mahagathbandhan people won, whatever little they won, was because of this deletion and because of this. And then look at the BJP one. So there is like a difference between the two. That would make it a little more believable, I feel like. See, here's the mota thing that I have realized after looking at all of this that has been going on, right? There is no doubt when I say that the election was not free and fair. It wasn't. The election commission is not interested in holding a free and fair election anymore. Was there voter list manipulation? Yes, there was. I will show you a few examples again, which are very egregious. Did the election commission allow BJP more things than the opposition? Yes, because when they launched the 10,000 rupees Mahila accounts Yojana, that is what essentially it is. They allowed the BJP to transfer money throughout the model code of conduct period. So 2 days before the elections actually happened, 10,000 rupees were transferred to a few women in a tranche. That's not good. That's not cool. And that is a violation of the MCC. And there are people who checked previous examples of this. Jayalalitha was stopped from doing this earlier. There were other instances in the past where the MCC had applied and TV Bato Yojana and a bunch of other Yojanas were stopped. Even in Telangana it has happened before. Until 2016 it has happened, where the government had launched a scheme where they intended to give some sort of goodies to the voters, not paisa direct transfer, but goodies, and then they were stopped from doing so. Aam Aadmi Party also wanted to do a similar scene earlier, but they were also stopped by the LG. So there is definitely an element of favoritism that the election commission is showing. In case of Bihar elections, which is BJP ke side se, in case of Maharashtra also. Maharashtra and Haryana have gone for elections together for the last 3 cycles, 15 years almost, right? So the general elections happen, and then in November, December is when the Maharashtra and Haryana elections happen. Oh, sorry. The September is when the Maharashtra and Haryana elections usually used to happen, right? What they did was they split up the 2 elections and then postponed the Maharashtra elections to the end of the year. They did Haryana first, and then they were like, okay, Maharashtra baad mein karenge, because they also allowed the Mahayuti government to launch the Ladki Bahin scheme. They also allowed them to give 5 months of payment to women in 3 months. And some of the payment had come during the MCC even back then, when the model code of conduct is in place. So there were these elements which made it unfair. But other than that, was the voter list pure? Of course it wasn't. We have covered SIR extensively on this channel. We have seen things happening, bizarre things happening. Reporters Collective found how 5,000 people from Uttar Pradesh are registered for double voting in Valmiki Nagar. They found multiple instances of fake addresses or shady photographs or repeated duplicates or triplicates even. Those things existed in the final list of the SIR. So the voter list was not pure. That is obvious. But other than that, there is another big thing that happened in this election, which I think we need to talk about again. This shit. So, Mohammad Zubair of Alt News and Abhishek Kumar, both of them have done like an excellent job in these two stories of collecting evidence of BJP people going and voting twice or thrice, where they dug deep and found their voter IDs as well, and they are active voter IDs in multiple states, which is a crime. It's a crime, and the Election Commission has allowed this to happen. And they have not said anything about this. And this was pointed out phase 1 ke baad ek bar, phase 2 ke baad nothing has happened. For example, Ajit Jha, he voted 3 times. Look at this guy. Amazing guy. He worked with OP India also. Great credentials. He voted in Bihar, he voted in Haryana, and he voted in Delhi municipal corporations. And they found his Epic ID also, all three of them in different places. Bihar, Delhi, Haryana. And they found his photos. Yes, look at him. Ajit Kumar Jha, Mithilesh Jha, Ajit Jha, 2 IDs. And he clearly voted in both places. Now we know that they go vote in both places. Just saying. Further, we also found Ajit Jha's father with 3 Epic IDs. Look at this. Mithilesh Jha, Bihar, Delhi and Haryana. Again. They found his wife with 2 IDs. There is of course Haryana and there is Delhi. They also found his mother with 2 IDs. पूरे खानदान का literally पूरा खानदान double ID लेके बैठा है. Triple ID in case of father and him. That's nuts to me. That's like next level nuts. Delhi and Bihar. So mother is voting in Bihar and Delhi. Wife is voting in Haryana and Delhi. Father is voting in Bihar, Delhi and Haryana. He's also doing the same thing, Bihar, Delhi and Haryana. How does this make sense? And this is evidence right here, which has been found by Alt News, by literally going and finding their Epic IDs painstakingly. The Election Commission has a software called Aeronet to do this by default, by the way. They just don't. Second case, Sanjay Jha. Look at this guy. Amazing. He voted in Bihar on November 6th. And he had previously voted in Delhi Assembly elections also. And then he had voted in Lok Sabha in Delhi as well. Brilliant. See, both of these IDs, wonderful. This is Delhi and this is Darbhanga, Bihar. Third case is Uday Kumar. He has voted in Bihar and of course he has voted first in Bangalore before that. So Karnataka se chal ke aaye, friend. It's actually quite fascinating how they found this. They actually found the geotag for this picture and then found out that it is in Bangalore. Then went to his voter ID and found these two. This is Bangalore North, Karnataka and this is Bihar. Karnataka se bhi Bihar mein ja rahe log. Yeah, Uday Kumar. Look at him. Bragging also. In multiple IDs, with multiple IDs, voting in different states and bragging about it. Literally. Khud evidence dal rahe hai log. And then the evidence they are putting, it doesn't matter, I guess. The Election Commission has not said anything or they have not given any sort of explanation as to why this is happening also. There is Ranjan Thakur. Ranjan Thakur, on November 11th, he put up a WhatsApp status after voting in Bihar Assembly elections. And on May 25th, 2024, he had posted a photo on Facebook claiming he voted for the Lok Sabha in Delhi. So they checked and they found Chandni Chowk, Delhi, and then Bihar, Sitamarhi, both places he voted and gave evidence himself. It's amazing. Amazing how this happens. And this is just one batch. There is another one. This is BJP workers who have done it. This is Prabhat Kumar. Prabhat Kumar is the coordinator of BJP Uttarakhand Kisan Morcha. He voted in Bihar. And previously he has voted in Uttarakhand as well. Look at this. Bihar, Uttarakhand. And they found his IDs also. This is Bihar. And this is Uttarakhand, Dehradun. He also voted in the local body elections of Uttarakhand. Then Santosh Ojha. This is Delhi and then Bihar. Both places. Santosh Ojha is the president of Purvanchal Morcha of Delhi BJP. Purvanchal Morcha, why is he going to Bihar to vote? I have no idea. They found IDs. See, this is how they found it. Again, see, Alt News does such amazing work sometimes. Please do support them if you can. Santosh Kumar Ojha, they found the name, they found the polling booth, they found his ID. Then they went to the other station. Look at this, Sarvodaya Kanya Vidyalaya. They कोने में लिखा है. Did you see? Like, this is what they found, which is this. And then they went and found the polling booth, and then they found his ID. Mind blown. Mind freaking blown. Election Commission can do this literally by default. Like, they can run a script and do this at this point. They refuse to do it. Why? Alt News कर रहा है. लिटरली एक आदमी बैठ के ये सब कर रहा है. इतना करने की जरूरत है क्या? Honestly. And why isn't the election commission doing this? It's crazy. Then of course there is Nagendra Pandey. Look at Nagendra Pandey voting happily in Siwan, Bihar, and also in Delhi. And this is him in front of Anurag Thakur. They tracked him very, very weirdly also. This is Bihar and this is Delhi. So he voted in both places, both IDs. Very cool. Very cool. One of the things that I've been hearing, friends, in this whole analysis of elections that people have been doing for Bihar, the opposition didn't do well. They are so lazy. They didn't have any game plan. They didn't do any hard work. Dude, please. It was not a level playing field. A. B. This shit was going on and the election commission is allowing it. And उन्होंने literally vote खरीदा है 10,000 रुपए देके. I mean, I have no qualms saying it. And it is wrong to do so. Can I say that? Or is it like something that we just have to accept now? That everybody in power, right before the election happens, they will just dole out like a shit ton of money to the women of the state, and we should all be okay with it because it is legitimate election strategy. Yeah, it's not. It's really not. Can you not see how it's not? We need to call it out. It's not fair. It doesn't have a level playing field. But by making this whole thing about, how hard the BJP works, etc., we stop talking about this other shadiness that is also happening in the background. On both fronts. Election manipulation also, and also on the paisa dole out front. Both those things will get like, ठीक है. महिला वोट खरीदा है. Can I say that? Of course I can say that. You should too. So yeah, that was the update from the Bihar results. And now on to update number 2. Oh, before I go to update number 2, I have a show. I am doing a show in multiple cities. It's called How to Lose an Election. It is the story of how I fought and lost an election in this year in Delhi. Yes, that happened. So I am coming to multiple cities. I'm coming to Bangalore. I'm coming to Chennai, Hyderabad. Next week, this week on Friday, Saturday, I'm in Mumbai. And I'm going to Pune after that on Sunday. So if you are in any of those cities, please come. Please come. More cities will be added. I promise Kolkata, this time I'm going to try my best to come to your city. And also I will do Goa, I will do Nagpur, and I want to try some other cities also. So if there is enough demand in your city, and if you think there is a good market for me to come there and you can gather me at least 10 people, please leave a comment below. मैं आ जाएगा. नहीं, मैं आएगा. मुझे ये लेके जाना है शो. तुम तक लाना है. And it is basically supposed to be a stand-up comedy show. Also, bonus for people who will come this week, I am launching a fun little thing, a fun little, how can I put it, product this week. For the online Janta, you'll have to wait till next week. But if you are coming to any of these shows, you might get a glimpse at this amazing new product that this brain has come up with. So yeah, come. मजे आएंगे. Update number 2, Prashant Kishore has resurfaced. If I may say so. Prashant Kishore has resurfaced and he has done a press conference. Now, I don't know about you, but a lot of people were a lot more eager to hear from Prashant Kishore than I would say Tejasvi Yadav or Nitish Kumar. Or anyone from the BJP for that matter. Because Prashant Kishore had made a lot of big claims. He had said that Nitish Kumar, if he gets less than 25 seats, then I will quit politics. Nitish Kumar will not be the chief minister. He wrote it down in multiple interviews, did multiple interviews, was very media splashy person, and now he's disappointed. So he has done a press conference. Now, the first thing he does is he admits his mistake. I'm not going to show you that part, but like there are a few parts which I wanted to show you from this press conference, which are, I think, more interesting. First thing he does is he has said that he's very sorry, that he doesn't understand what happened. Like someone asked him, ki, "Arey Prashant ji, now will you admit you don't understand Bihar?" He's like, fine, I don't understand Bihar. Does that make you happy? And he was like, okay. He said that he's very sorry. His plan didn't work out. He said that he was not able to communicate his plan to the people of Bihar. He was not able to convince them to vote for his party or for his plan or for his candidates. So he's going to do a prayashchit. He's going to do a one-day fast in Gandhi Ashram in Patna. And he's going to do Vichar Vimarsh after this. He said that he's going to go back to the blueprint, to basically to the drawing board and make a new blueprint for the party. One thing I have to say, nice of him, good of him to come and do this actually. कौन admit करता है mistake आज की दुनिया में? I don't know who does. Like, I mean, if someone has lost so badly, ठीक है, as far as that goes, bonus points for Prashant Kishore. Then someone asked him, does he believe in vote chori? And this is what happened.
मैं वोट चोरी के मुद्दे पर हम लोग का स्टांस जो है वो बिल्कुल क्लियर है पहले दिन से। ये बिहार का मुद्दा नहीं है। जो चुनाव की पूरी प्रक्रिया है उसमें वोटर लिस्ट बनने से लेकर आचार संहिता के अनुपालन का, वोटिंग के दिन के, जैसे यहाँ पर आप जीविका की दीदियों को बाकायदा आपने मोबिलाइजर बनाकर सरकारी व्यवस्था के तहत बूथ में बैठाया है। तो पूरे वोटर लिस्ट बनाने की प्रक्रिया, आचार संहिता के अनुपालन की प्रक्रिया, वोटिंग के दिन जो हो रहा है वो उसमें सरकारी तंत्र का इस्तेमाल, दुरुपयोग या उपयोग, और वोटिंग के बाद जो महाराष्ट्र से लगातार दिख रहा है कि अंतिम 2 घंटे में 15%, 20% एक्स्ट्रा वोट होना, फिर चुनाव आयोग का उसका डिटेल नहीं जारी करना और 3 दिन के बाद ये बताना कि इतना वोट हो गया। ये बड़े मुद्दे हैं। हम लोग बहुत छोटी पार्टी है, हम लोग को तो इतना नहीं ताकत है, लेकिन आपके माध्यम से मैं ये जरूर देश के विपक्ष को ये कहना चाहूंगा, इस पर गंभीरता से बात करने की और इसको जरूरत पड़े तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट में ले जाने की जरूरत है कि आज की तारीख में, आज की स्थिति में जो आचार संहिता पहले से बना हुआ है वो कितना कारगर है या नहीं कारगर है।
Okay, now why this is interesting is because when the elections were going on, whenever he was asked about vote chori, he used to say that कुछ भी हो जाए, कोई भी वोट चोरी कर ले, how many votes you steal, if the people have decided to defeat a party, then nothing can save them, including a manipulated election and a voter roll and all the things. Clearly, his opinion has changed now. Clearly, he's not saying anymore that it's not an issue. Now he's saying ki nahi, we are a very small party. I hope the bigger parties take it up because it is a national issue. Interesting, isn't it? Now that he's lost, now he's basically saying that, okay, I guess there is some element of vote chori that is happening.
अगर सिर्फ इसमें वोटर रोल की बात नहीं है, एसआईआर सिर्फ वोटिंग रोल की बात है, लेकिन जिस तरह से वोटिंग हुई है, आप बताइए कि सुरक्षा कर्मियों में होमगार्ड को यहीं पर इसी बिहार में लालू जी की जब सरकार थी, टीएन सेशन का जमाना था, उन्होंने कहा था कि नहीं कोई लोकल आदमी यहाँ चुनाव की प्रक्रिया में हिस्सा नहीं लेगा, होमगार्ड का कोई आदमी हिस्सा नहीं लेगा।
सेम थिंग आई टोल्ड यू।
आज के चुनाव आयोग ने उस जीविका दीदी को बैठाया है जिसको एक तरीके से सरकार ने कॉन्ट्रैक्ट दिया है कि आपको इतने लोगों को वोट दिलवाना है। मैं आपको एक उदाहरण देता हूँ, मधुबनी विधानसभा क्षेत्र है, मैं डिटेल में नहीं जाना चाहता था लेकिन आप पूरे रहे। मधुबनी विधानसभा क्षेत्र है, वहां से उपेंद्र कुशवाहा जी के पार्टी के उम्मीदवार चुनाव जीत कर आए। मैं पूरे यहाँ पर जितने मीडिया के साथी हैं, जितने यहाँ चुनाव के विशेषज्ञ हैं, आप भी यूट्यूबर हैं, मैं दावा कर रहा हूँ आज हो 5 महीने के बाद हो, आप मधुबनी विधानसभा क्षेत्र में जाइए, वहां पर एनडीए के प्रत्याशी को 1 लाख से ज्यादा वोट आया है। एनडीए को वोट मिला, 10,000 रुपए के लिए मिला, नहीं मिला छोड़िए, हम इस बात से दंग हैं कि मधुबनी में कितने लोग ऐसे हैं वोटर जो कि उपेंद्र कुशवाहा जी के पार्टी का सिंबल भी जानते हैं। भाई एलायंस वोट तो उनके पार्टी के सिंबल को पड़ा है ना, एलायंस का कोई सिंबल नहीं है। तो आखिर रातों रात पूरे मधुबनी क्षेत्र में, और क्या हुआ मैं नहीं कह रहा हूँ, मैं आपको और आपके जरिए देश के लोगों को ये बताना चाहता हूँ कि जो भी लोग सर्वे, सेफोलॉजी, पत्रकारिता, राजनीति में इंटरेस्ट रखते
a very interesting narrative now he's trying to build here, which is he gives the example of Madhubani, where Upendra Kushwaha won, his party won actually, and his whole argument is that the symbol was new and nobody knew that symbol. So how did it happen that within like a few days, like 20 days, everybody knew the symbol and they suddenly voted for them and they got like lakhs of votes? Now it's not impossible to do. I'm just being honest, but he's saying that it is a little unusual that this happened, and then when they poke him further, he goes further than that.
हैं। आप सैंपल के तौर पर कोई 5 कंस्टिट्यूंसी उठा लीजिए, और जहां पर भाजपा और जदयू के उम्मीदवार नहीं लड़ रहे थे, वो दल लड़ रहे थे जिनका कोई सिंबल भी नहीं जानता है, नाम भी नहीं जानता है, उसको 1 लाख, 1.25 लाख वोट कैसे आया है? हमारे पास कोई प्रमाण नहीं है कि वो वोट कैसे आया, लेकिन
He's also saying that no, I'm not saying that anything shady has happened. Like हमारे पास कोई proof नहीं है, but कैसे हुआ? Like he's planting like a seed of doubt there.
इस सामाजिक क्षेत्र में जुड़े होने के नाते ये आश्चर्य का विषय है कि जिस मधुबनी क्षेत्र में लोग ये नहीं जानते हैं कि कौन सा प्रत्याशी लड़ रहा है, कौन सा पार्टी लड़ रही है, उस पार्टी का सिंबल क्या है, उसको 1.25 लाख वोट आया है, और जो लोग वहां जीवन भर राजनीति कर रहे हैं उनको वोट नहीं आया। संभव है उनको इतना समर्थन है, लेकिन मेरा आपसे आग्रह ये, भाई देखो 1 मिनट रुके, आपका सवाल 10 ले चुके हैं, और भी तो लोग हैं, आपका एक और ले लेगा, शांति से बैठिए।
So he basically is saying that there are some very weird things that happened in Bihar elections, including the fact that a new party with a new symbol got so many votes. And further, he says at one point that he sent his people to Madhubani to ask people to do a survey, post-poll survey, asking ki what is the symbol of this party, Upendra Kushwaha's party. And he said that less than 25% people who he asked actually knew what the symbol was. So his theory now is that यहाँ पे कुछ तो भी shady हुआ है. Now he doesn't have any proof, but he's asked the media and he's asked all the YouTubers to go to Madhubani and check for themselves. And he also said that there are 4 or 5 other constituencies where this has also happened. Other than that, he has also made this big allegation. Prashant Kishore's party alleges 14,000 crore World Bank funds used in Bihar poll. Prashant Kishore's party alleged that the Nitish Kumar government diverted 14,000 crore in World Bank funds to give 10,000 cash transfers to women ahead of elections, calling it an unethical bid to sway polls. The party described the move as a clear misuse of public money and unethical attempt to sway election process and demanded a thorough investigation. Nitish Kumar government has transferred 10,000 to the accounts of 1.25 crore women under the Mukhyamantri Mahila Rozgar Yojana in the run-up to the NDA polls. Uday Singh, national president of Jan Suraj, said this: the outcome of this election has effectively been brought. From 21st June until polling day, nearly 40,000 crore was spent to secure this mandate. Using public money, they essentially purchased people's votes. I have also learned that funds received from World Bank were used for this cash transfer. So now they are asking, before the elections, you did transfer so much money. So, of course, it's a violation of the MCC. That is one matter. How did the Election Commission allow this in the first place? But the second matter is, where did this money come from? Where did the Bihar government get this money? And their allegation is that some funds were given by the World Bank for some developmental activities, and the Bihar government diverted it and turned it into this 10,000 Yojana. Which is an interesting allegation, but it is still an allegation. So that is another front that they have opened up. Ki 10,000 rupees aaye kidhar se? Where did it come from? And then finally, about the seats thing that he did, which is Nitish Kumar, if he gets less than 25 seats, I will quit politics. I will take sannyas. I will write it down for you. Nitish Kumar will not be the chief minister. Well, they asked him, what now, friend? Are you quitting politics? And this is his very strange response.
सत्ता में जो लोग आए हैं वो कह रहे भैया हम तो सरकारी योजना चला रहे थे, जो विपक्ष में है वो कह रहा है हम योजना नहीं चला रहे थे, आप पैसा देके वोट खरीद रहे थे। इसका कोई अंत नहीं है, इस बहस का कोई अंत नहीं है। चुनाव आयोग पर लोग टीका टिप्पणी कर रहे हैं, वो चुनाव आयोग का विषय है। बिहार के बेटा होने के नाते, बिहार के नागरिक होने के नाते मेरा बस एक ही प्रश्न है हर विधानसभा क्षेत्र में 60 से 62,000 लोगों को कम से कम 10,000 रुपया सीधे तौर पर सरकार ने दिया है।
He's bringing the 10,000 rupees
रुपया
again.
नहीं दिया, ये कहा कि आपको स्वरोजगार के लिए 2 लाख रुपया दिया जाएगा और उसकी पहली किस्त के तौर पर बयाना के तौर पर 10,000 रुपया उसको दिया गया और पूरा सरकारी तंत्र लगाया गया लोगों को ये बताने के लिए कि अगर आप एनडीए को वोट देते हैं तो आपको 10,000 रुपए के साथ साथ आने वाले 6 महीनों में 2 लाख रुपए तक की सहायता मिलेगी। इसको करने के लिए पूरा सरकारी तंत्र लगा। जीविका
So, this was his first attempt at a response where he basically started talking about the 10,000 rupees again. Now, this is another front that they are opening up. What I find fascinating about what Prashant Kishore is doing or like what Jan Suraj is now doing is I feel like their only option left is to take over the opposition void as fast as possible while the RJD is, well, sad and down, and so is the Congress. I think they have jumped in. First they made an allegation कि ये 14,000 करोड़ रुपए किधर से आया, वर्ल्ड बैंक से आया. Second thing they are saying is that this 10,000 रुपए which he just said कि now the Bihar government, which is the NDA led, Nitish Kumar led Bihar government, has to release the second kisht. So the 10,000 rupees was an advance. It was an investment. It was seed capital which was given to women who should start their own entrepreneurial venture. So they would buy a sewing machine, they would buy a cow, they would buy a goat or something. They can start something of their own, or they pool in the money and do something of their own. That was the idea. So the other part of that was, and which was communicated to these women by Jivika Didis of BJP, or of actually Nitish Kumar's creation. These Jivika Didis were telling these women who got 10,000 rupees that, "Arey wait, you will get 2 lakhs more. If you do well in your business, you will get 2 lakhs more in 6 months." So now Prashant Kishore has opened up another front saying that, oh, now you give 2 lakhs. See how many people you give 2 lakhs to. Like, let's see how many people you give 2 lakhs to. And he has opened a helpline for this. He has given a helpline in his office saying that, listen, in 6 months, if you're not getting this money, or if you still haven't gotten the 10,000 already, call this number. We will come and we will help you. We will scream and shout on your behalf. We might not be a big party which has won any elections, but we will stand by you. We will stand by the women who are not getting this money. I feel like they're hitting the ground running. It's interesting to see them do this. Now that answer, this bizarre answer.
जी
हाँ.
बिल्कुल ठीक बात है कि आपने कहा, हम पहली बात तो आप लोग कह रहे राजनीति से हम किस पद पे हैं कि इस्तीफा दे दें? हाँ ना, सुन रहे हैं, आ रहे हैं, किस पद पर है कि इस्तीफा दे दें?
So clever.
आप एक मिनट.
Oh wow.
आपने सवाल, एक मिनट रुकिए. आपने सवाल किया है, जायज बात है. आपने कहा था कि 25 से ज्यादा आएगा तो आप संन्यास ले लेंगे. तो भैया किस पद पर हैं जिससे मैं इस्तीफा दे दूं? अगर किसी पद पर हैं, ये तो नहीं कहा था कि बिहार छोड़कर चले जाएंगे.
That's rather convenient, isn't it? Now he's saying that, okay, I did say that I will quit politics and I will take sannyas, but what position do I have that I will quit and resign from? What? Like, ये ना, इसीलिए ये भी आदमी वैसे गैस लाइटिंग में बुरा नहीं है. Like, I think Ganesh, Prashant Kishore, top level gaslighters we have. This man has been doing this constantly, by the way. He just plays a reverse Uno for no reason, like all the time. He's just like, अरे हाँ मैंने ये बोला था, but इसका मतलब तूने जो समझा वो नहीं था. This is actually the meaning I have, and this is what is happening. Okay, this is the real meaning of what is happening. This is what he's doing right now.
बिहार में रहेंगे और राजनीति नहीं, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल, अरे भाई, बिल्कुल, एक मिनट, बिल्कुल राजनीति छोड़ देंगे. राजनीति छोड़े हुए हैं. हम तो राजनीति करते ही नहीं हैं. लेकिन ये नहीं कहा है ना कि बिहार के लोगों की बात कहना छोड़ देंगे. ये तो नहीं कहा है.
So he's now saying that, oh, I said I will leave politics, but when was I doing politics in the first place? I'm not leaving Bihar. I will continue to raise the voice of the people of Bihar. Bro, Prashant. That is exactly what politics is. Raising the voice of the people is a part of politics as we know it. The whole process of organizing power around you and organizing society, and then you being a representative or wanting to be a representative of a group of people, and then putting their views forward and making changes in policies and laws after you get elected, and then changing society as a result is politics. So आप कर रहे थे पॉलिटिक्स, यही है पॉलिटिक्स का डेफिनेशन. सो नाउ दैट he has fallen flat on his face, is conveniently like sort of changing it around and sort of saying कि मैं politics कर ही नहीं रहा था. I will continue to raise the voice of the people. मैं politics कर ही नहीं रहा था. What do I quit? I have no position. I don't do politics. So all the things I said before, you misinterpreted it. I would have preferred if he would have just responded saying, bro, चुनावी जुमला था. I mean, everybody would be like, yeah, of course, we know now what that means. And I guess it is legitimate. It is a legitimate thing to do. Which is like, before elections, you say whatever you want. Later, when people try to hold you accountable, Modi ji has the strategy of going forward in the future. Which is like, I don't live in the past. I live in the future, 2047. Prashant Kishore has this strategy of gaslighting people and saying, oh no, remember what I said? Remember the words that I said? The meaning of the word you took versus the meaning of the word I took is very different. So therefore, you are actually wrong with your interpretation. मैंने ये बोला था, but तेरा interpretation ही गलत था. I like Amit Shah's approach more. Amit Shah is like, क्या कर सकते हैं? चुनावी जुमला. हाँ बोला झूठ, क्या कर लेगा? चुनावी जुमला. At least that's honest. So if anybody from Prashant Kishore's team or Jan Suraj is watching, please tell him. Please tell him. Just use this line. No, why give such long-winded, gaslighty explanations of what you're doing? You want to be in politics there. You have to stay there. Also, I appreciate that your family's, your party is trying to create like a legitimate opposition now and trying to raise the issues of the people and 10,000 rupees and 2 lakh rupees aaye, nahi aaye, all the things, helplines you're doing. So you clearly want to be here. So just stop. But I guess मैं कौन हूँ यार, मैं कौन हूँ. But now I have a common thing with Mr. Prashant Kishore, I must tell you. Someone asked him that, sir, you admit now that you don't understand Bihar. You said I went around 3 years के लिए and all these Visheshagya people are wrong. All these analysts, they don't understand Bihar. All these people who don't understand Bihar. I understand Bihar. I've gone to the ground for 3 years. I walked around everywhere and I understand Bihar. Now would you say that you don't understand Bihar? And he's like, yes, I don't understand Bihar. If that makes you happy, I don't understand it. Clearly, I don't understand it. We lost. And I think there was like silence for a bit. I'm like, okay. We have that in common with each other now. Like he walked around for 3 years, doesn't understand Bihar. I haven't done that. I was just sitting here and commenting on it, and I kept telling people that, listen, I don't really understand Bihar, but I'm just reading based on what is happening and calling people and trying to understand it. And yeah, common. We have that in common. Thank you, Prashant Kishore. Same level now. See you in 5 years. Okay, update number 3, small but very important. As you know, the election commission led by Gyanesh Gasgupta has now declared a nationwide special intensive revision, which is starting with 12 states. The thing is, all these people who are supposed to carry out these revisions are called booth level officers. They are temporary employees of the election commission. So a local teacher or a local government employee would be given this task of handling a particular booth in an area. Those are called BLOs. Now these BLOs would be the ones in charge of first distributing the enumeration forms, then filling those enumeration forms, collecting them back, uploading them to the election commission website /app, whatever they have, We saw in Bihar when the SIR was happening that the BLOs were under insane pressure to complete this task. So Ajit Anjum went and saw, a bunch of other journalists went and saw that under so much pressure that BLOs started signing fake forms. They were just like, I don't give a shit, I can't go from house to house, the time given to me is so less before the election, so I need to complete this task, otherwise I will get into trouble. That is happening all across these states now, and it is leading to some tragic consequences. This is a report from the Indian Express. BLO's protest threatens to disrupt SIR in Tamil Nadu, Kerala and Rajasthan. 2 deaths and multiple complaints from BLOs of excessive workload and unreasonable demands and targets are threatening to disrupt the SIR of electoral rolls in at least 3 states, Kerala, Tamil Nadu and Rajasthan. In Kerala, a political storm is simmering over the alleged S of BLO Anish George on Sunday. George, 44, the BLO for booth number 18 under Payanur assembly seat, was found dead in his house. No note was recovered, but his family and close friends allege that George, an office attendant at a school, was under pressure to complete his job within a stipulated time, that is by December 4th. On Monday, BLOs in the state boycotted work protesting George's S. Various trade unions of state government employees held protest at the CEO office of Thiruvananthapuram and district collectorates, demanding that authorities refrain from exerting pressure on BLOs and considering postponement of SIR. There are multiple cases that are now coming up in Tamil Nadu. There are cases in West Bengal. There are cases in Rajasthan. In Rajasthan's Jaipur, where a government school teacher appointed as BLO allegedly died after jumping in front of a running train on Sunday. His family said role revision workload and deadline pressure pushed him to take this extreme step. Mukesh Jangid, 45, a resident of Dharampur village in Alwar district, worked at a government primary school in Jaipur. Now, this is what you need to understand. The people who are supposed to do this enumeration exercise are usually school teachers, office attendants, low-level frontline workers who are supposed to do all of this. Asha workers, they are supposed to be the ones who are supposed to execute this farman that is coming from Ganesh Gupta. And clearly, the pressure is getting to a lot of people. I don't understand why the Election Commission is in such a hurry to do the SIR. They have given some very tight deadlines, and as a result, these BLOs are suffering. So while we can blame the Election Commission for all the errors, all the things that they are doing, I think this is one more thing that they need to be blamed for, which is putting pressure on their temporary employees, putting pressure on BLOs and making their lives absolutely hell because of this stupid ass exercise that they have come up with, which they are not even doing properly. Another thing that I saw, you can watch this, NDTV did a long interview with PTR. He said something very interesting. PTR is the IT minister of Tamil Nadu. He said something very interesting, that the Election Commission is claiming that 100% distribution has happened everywhere in the constituency, in all places where SIR is happening, of enumeration forms. He checked with his own collector, and 3 days after the Election Commission had made this declaration, he found that only 20% of the people in his constituency had actually gotten their forms. He got booth level data from his collector and the person who is in charge of the elections in his district of Madurai, and he said 22% se upar gaya hi nahi hai. So even there the Election Commission is lying. So on one hand, they are putting insane pressure on these BLOs to do their jobs within a very unreasonable time frame. The allegation of vote chori must also be putting a lot of pressure on these people, because obviously they are the ones who are in charge of maintaining the voter list. Right now in chat, one of our friendly members said that TMC people are now following the BLOs around just to see if they are deleting any voters or not. Now that is another terrifying consequence of this. If you have a aggressive party like TMC in West Bengal and their workers who are extremely aggressive, I have covered elections, I know, they are going to do whatever they can to protect their electorate, but also bully the BLOs. so that the BJP doesn't bully them and the election commission doesn't bully them. So in a very strange way, BLOs are stuck between all these competing forces. And on top of it, the election commission is lying about their efficiency also, and they're not that efficient. And as a result, such tragic incidents are happening and they will continue to happen. I think it needs to be talked about. I think there is, these people need some respite. And if anything, I feel like the Supreme Court needs to take action on the SIR and how it is being conducted for this reason. Now it is causing loss of life. And that's never a great idea. That's never acceptable, honestly. So yeah, I hope things look at this. I hope things people keep talking about this and how terrible the election commission is being right now. Those were the news updates. Thank you so much for watching. And please, again, reminder, I have a show. So please come in Mumbai if you're around or in other cities that I told you. Also, new product launch is happening next week, so keep a lookout for that. But yeah, until then, please subscribe and thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next video. और member बन जाओ, तो recording में आने को मिलेगा. Okay, bye.